Good afternoon, everyone. This is Slatter coming to you live from the desk at GTA Studios with a special edition of Real Talk with Ty. So if you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to Slatter on all social media platforms, Slatter on YouTube, and don't forget to check out tyslatter.com for all things music, sports, and all things Slatter. Effective immediately at the time, I believe it was about 10:30 this morning, September 2nd, time of this recording, fresh off Labor Day, I got laid off from Radio 1. Now, for those who think that Real Talk with Ty is a show where I just talk about positive things, I gotta give you the real. It's Real Talk with Ty. I haven't been laid off from a job and really fired from a job in a long time, because if layoff and fire doesn't feel too different. I mean, it's roughly the same. I mean, yes, layoffs get severance packages and benefits and what have you, but beside all that, the feeling's still the same. For most people, I think my brain's wired a little differently because I didn't shed a tear about it. I didn't crash out or go postal about it. I kind of, safe to say, my instincts kicked in as soon as I was walking to, the HR's office and what have you, and the, lead people at the top of the food chain when it comes to Radio 1. I kind of already knew because I've seen a lot of emails of people, being let go and or fired in the last month or so, most of the summer. And I've been keeping up with, the market and just seeing what was going on, across different regions of the, radio industry. And so I wasn't too surprised, considering I was only part-time and I wasn't, I hadn't been there a full year. So I didn't feel like they were nearly as vested in me as some others that have been let go, that had been there, multiple years. But if I were to put this situation or experience into one of those quotes that, you can quote me on, I got a couple that fit this particular narrative, and that's why I couldn't pick just one. But this situation reminded me to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And what do I mean by that? I use that a lot because I'm used to things, taking a left or a curveball getting thrown. Majority of my life has been that way. That's probably why I believe it's safe to say I was prepared for a moment like this more than most, because I'm used to things going haywire or things not working out or, being told no or denied for certain opportunities. So I took it probably better than most. And I think they were, they probably would say the same if you were to ask them. But getting comfortable being uncomfortable. Locations may change, but the work stays the same. And the reason why I use that one, that's more of the glass half empty, half full scenario, is you're watching me live from, and it may not look like much at the moment, but this is the future home for, all things GTA Sports Network. If you follow me on TikTok, you know that I do my late night vibes with Ty from this very desk, this very seat. I might have a different attire on because it's late night vibes, so of course I'm not, dressed in my workwear, if you will. But nonetheless, I think that's why I didn't take it nearly as hard. I mean, my brother asked me this morning. I called him first because that's my man. So shout out to Showtime. He was like, "How do you feel?" And I was like, honestly, even though I know this was quote unquote my dream job, I don't feel the same about it as I would have 10 years ago. 10 years ago, if I were to have gotten a radio position at Radio 1, to be able to, see Karen Vaughn and Kenny Kicks every day, Edmo, shout out to Edmo, all the people that I've crossed paths with, Shavonna, and I went to school with, and crossed paths with everybody, and was able to see people every day. And I loved the environment. The working environment was great. And shout out to Tina Cosby as well. I can't say I feel the same as I would 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I would have been devastated. I would have thought, I failed. What is life going to be like now? But being that I've been through a lot of the things that I've survived that were way more life threatening and life altering than being let go from a position that I once coveted, coming out of college. Um, it was just, I believe, moving something out of the way for something greater, and being able to give you guys a glimpse into what Real Talk with Ty is truly about at the core. It's real talk, it's real conversation, real life experiences. Being able to take the mask of social media and perfection, and showing you that flaws and all, you can still be great. You can still strive for greatness and never settle for just being good. Being comfortable, being uncomfortable epitomizes that, because in order for you to be able to strive for greatness, you're gonna have to feel pain. You're gonna have to be able to subdue. You're gonna have to be able to deal with rejection, being denied, or being, in my case, let go. Due to budget cuts, market, whatever words and verbiage you're given in that moment. But being able to take that moment and internalize it and say, okay, what is in store for me that I had to remove something to gain? And looking at it as a moment of clarity and putting things in its proper perspective, because there's no such thing as job security in 2025. I knew that going into it. But it's safe to say, because it was a job that I always wanted, I was looking so far ahead that I wasn't even, in the mindset of, oh, I can get cut, oh, I can get let go, I can do this, I don't move like that. I'm always thinking full. If you know me and you follow me on this journey, you know that independence is a beautiful thing. The beauty of independence is what I, arguably created. The whole reason for me being on social media is to push independence, whether it be music, sports and entertainment. All the things that I've done in the last decade was to prove that I didn't need the industry's validation or approval. So going into the industry with already having the mindset of being your own boss or being independent, it was more or less just to check it off the list and say, hey, despite me being a senior college dropout and things of that nature, I still made it to where I wanted to go. And when I got there, it's like a lot of things. You get there and you realize it's not all it's cracked up to be, as far as what your brain thought it was going to be like before you got there. And then you get there and you see what it really is. And at the end of the day, it's another job, it's an opportunity. And I thank them for that. But I also was reminded not to put too much value and weight on putting somebody else in charge of your fate. And what I mean by that is, when you're independent, you control way more of the outcome than when you work for somebody else. And I've always known that. Our dad showed us that while he was living, that the beauty of independence and being your own boss. And you can't, you can fire, you can fire yourself if you're working for yourself. So I don't want to get too long-winded about it. I've talked more than enough. I try to keep these things around 10 minutes. I just wanted to let you guys know that was the moral of the story for the day. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. And locations may change, but the work stays the same. Never stop striving for greatness. Never give up. No matter what's thrown at you, you're built for it. So don't lose sight of what's in front of you. Stay focused, stay locked in. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Ty Slatter to see more updates. And just know, anytime something like this happens, I lock in on a whole different level. I'm wired a little bit different. So don't be surprised at what you see in the fourth quarter of 2025. This is Ty Slatter on behalf of Real Talk with Ty. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. You take care of yourself, and we'll talk next time. What's good, everyone? This is Ty Slatter coming to you live from Vision Studios, and I want to make sure I invite you to come here to Real Talk with Ty. But on your way, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to Ty Slatter on YouTube, because this platform right here, just for you. So if you have a new album on the way, you got a new single that's booming, you got a new business that you're starting, or you feel like you got a story that needs a platform to inspire the next generation, we got you covered right here. Real Talk with Ty. We're waiting for you.